We always post our events up here. Any of our free events that we do, we send directly to our YouTube, along with also our Instagram, our LinkedIn, and a bunch of other social media. So if you're not following us, make sure you check us out. So I shared the link in the chat so you guys can actually follow along, and you'll see that our live stream is actually right here. I'm going to refresh the page. There's our live stream. Right. So if you want to see us streaming live on YouTube, or if you want to stay up to date with all the new things that we provide, we give a lot of free sessions out. So this would be the best way to do that, right? To follow us on YouTube. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button and also to get the notifications as well. All right, cool. Okay, awesome. So we're all live here. So I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving weekend as well. If you are in the US, I know a bunch of you guys are from around the world. We do get a lot of people from Europe and Australia and Singapore and China and Hong Kong. So yeah, so if you are in the United States, I hope you had a fantastic long weekend and a great Thanksgiving. And yeah, we're going to talk about some very cool stuff today that I'm excited to show you. So let's get this kicked off. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to launch your first trading algorithm. Specifically, we're going to be doing this using a tool called Render today, which I'll talk about shortly in a little bit. But before we jump into all that, let me first of all bring up our disclaimer. Typical stuff, you know, we're talking about investments here. Make sure you speak to an investment advisor and just give a read to this entire disclaimer. All right, here's our agenda for today. First of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our different algorithms that we have. I'm going to tell you about the broker that we're going to be using, which is Alpaca today. We're compatible with a bunch of different brokers. This is just one of the best ones. Specifically, they have free trading for stocks. They have trading for options. They have crypto. So they're a really good broker, and they're very easy to get up and running. So we're going to be using them today. But we do work with quite a few others as well. We'll also talk about GitHub and basically how you can access our algorithms through GitHub. If you're a subscriber, you'll have much more in your GitHub. If you're someone who's new to our company, then we do have some example algorithms for you to run as well. And then we're going to talk about Render, which is essentially where we're going to be running this algorithm. This is the spot that we're going to be running the algorithms out of. And then we'll talk about next steps later on as well. Okay, cool. So first of all, some notes before we get started. You can see our plans here on LumiWealth.com if you're interested in learning more about what we offer. We do have several different plans that give you access to a bunch of different algorithms and learning materials and community and all that kind of stuff. So you can check us out here on LumiWealth.com. I shared that link with you. We'll tell you more about the plans at the end of this presentation. And also make sure you stay to the end because we're going to give you a discount. I'm going to give you a discount at the end of the presentation. So if you stick around to the end, I'm going to provide you with a coupon code that could save you a little bit of cash. All right. Let me also share this presentation link with you guys so that if you want to, you could follow along. Here we go. Okay, cool. So let's get started. So first of all, let me show you some of our algorithms that we've been working on, that we've been running for quite some time. Here's a few of them. We do have quite a few that are available when you join our program. Here's our GitHub page that has a bunch of our algorithms. Every single one of these is a different type of algorithm. They all do different things. They all have specific use cases. For example, Condor Martingale, I have a bunch of money running with these different algorithms here. We're doing quite well. We have a futures trading algorithm that we just started working on recently. We have a rolling EMA spreads, which has done quite well in my account. So I'll show you how those performed. We have a Solana sniper bot. So if you're interested in crypto trading, we do have a bot that we're working on for trading Solana meme coins specifically. So that's a Solana sniper bot. We have a bunch of other ones here, stock alpha picks. I'll tell you about that. We have option alpha picks, and then this keeps going. We have 36 different things in here. So you have quite a few to choose from if you want to run some of these algorithms. We have some very interesting ones. All right, cool. But I'm going to show you some highlights, right? That's all the different things that you'll get if you join our Pro plan or All Access plan. But let me take you through a couple of the highlights. Let me show you a few of the ones that we have here that I think are worth talking about. We'll start off with our Congress following bot. This one in particular follows Nancy Pelosi, but this could be adjusted essentially to follow whatever Congress member you'd like to follow. Basically, we're getting the trades from websites like this. There's tons of websites, Capital Trades, QuiverQuant. We specifically use QuiverQuant. But you could use these algorithms here to follow your favorite Congress member. Okay, so here, for example, we have Mark Wayne Mullen, right? This guy bought some VRig US today, Invesco actively managed exchange, He bought some of that today. He sold PIMCO. This one here, John Fetterman, the Democrat from Pennsylvania, bought Icon Office Solutions today as well, or yesterday, I should say, at 10:15. Michael Collins bought something called Aerodrome Finance. So basically, there's all these different things that these Congress members are buying. And it kind of makes you think, do they know something that we don't know, right? First of all, do they have some sort of insider advantage? And then furthermore, if they do own these stocks, when they pass bills in Congress, are they going to be passing bills that are more favorable to the companies that they own rather than other companies, right? So there's two potential benefits from this, which is doing the insider trading. Basically, they have information that we don't have. And number two, that they have a bias towards things that they own in their portfolios, right? So this is our Congress trading bot. You can customize this thing to trade a bunch of different, to follow a bunch of different Congress members. Probably one of the most famous ones is Nancy Pelosi, right? If you have never heard of her, she's a Democrat, I believe, from California. And she has been doing very, very well. So here is her Congress. Here's a bot that basically follows her. What we do is we look at all the buys and sells that they do. We can make an implied portfolio out of that. When we back tested this portfolio that she's owned since 2019, she has produced about a 22% average annual return. This bot has produced an average annual return of 22% historically in this back test. You can see here on this graph in blue is Nancy Pelosi's bot. And then in yellow is S&P 500. So you see that we beat the S&P by quite a nice margin. Over here, we see the S&P would have been up about 150%, whereas this portfolio is up 216%. So quite a nice beat by Nancy Pelosi there, which is not surprising given how well she's been doing. She actually does even more stuff. She trades options and all that kind of stuff. This is simply following her stock portfolio. And you can actually even see here, we've been running this thing for a while now. Here's this actual bot that we created a little while ago. We created this about 2-3 months ago. We ran it on October 4th. It's already up 13, almost 14%, beating the crap out of the stock market already so far. I think the stock market over this time period, if I'm not mistaken, is up maybe 3-4%. Stock market's been doing very well. Her portfolio, a heck of a lot better. You can see she owns NVIDIA, Amazon, Microsoft, Salesforce, Disney, Google, PayPal, a lot of really good companies here. They've all been performing quite well. All right. So that's the Congress following bot for Nancy Pelosi. But again, like I said, you can make this thing follow any Congress member that you want. We give you the code. You can basically use our code. It is included here in our GitHub when you subscribe to one of our plans. If we scroll down here, let's see, where's Congress? Let's search for it. There's a Congress follower bot. You can basically just go in here. And actually, if you're a subscriber, I think at least one or two of you guys on here are subscribers. You can actually log in right now, go to Congress follower, and you could do this right now. While we're going through this process, you can actually launch this bot currently right now in your portfolio and have it running for you by the end of this session. Right? All you need to do is go down here. I'll show you guys this later, but it's basically deploy to render, and you follow the rest of the instructions that we have that I'm going to be going through with you right now, or right after I explain some of our other algorithms, right? So there you go. So that's our Congress following bot that's available there. As I mentioned, you could also customize this thing to follow other Congress members. Here, for example, is Mark Green, who is a Republican out of Texas. He's very good at trading oil stocks. We actually copied his portfolio. You can see this is the back test of his portfolio versus S&P 500. What recession? 2020, 2022, we had a bear market that went down for quite some time. His portfolio does not experience that. Not only did he do about 20% a year, beating the stock market by quite a bit, but also had a lot less of a drawdown. He's had this very nice, consistent return. Clearly, he's very good at picking oil stocks. We actually looked into this. He's not on any of the boards for any oil companies or anything like that, as far as we can tell. But damn, he seems to be able to pick these things very well. So this is a Congress following bot that you can modify to follow Mark Green if you'd like to do that. All right. Okay, cool. So that's our Congress following bot. That's one of the bots that I want to show you today. Let me show you another one. Here's our diversified leverage bot. This one is one of our tried and true bots. We've been running this for quite some time. This is our back test of how it would have performed from 2010 up until about June of 24. You could see this thing did about 29% a year in our back test, or in other words, 3,900%, almost 4,000% over the total length of this back test here. So it's 14 years, 40,000%. So 40 times your money in 14 years. I'd say that's a pretty damn good result. I could tell you, if I had my money starting in 2010 in this, I would be a heck of a lot richer by now. But we built this bot about 2 years ago, I believe, 2-3 years ago. And I've been running this with some real money ever since. Here is my bot. This is essentially one of my accounts. I have about $5,000 in this right now. I put in something like $3,500 into this algorithm back on June 1st, 2023, and I'm already up so far 52%. So I've had quite a nice return trading this diversified leverage bot. You want to understand what it does. Basically, what this bot does is it follows Ray Dalio's portfolio. If you've never heard of Ray Dalio, this guy here, very, very famous investor, Ray Dalio. He's one of the richest people on earth, with a net worth of $14 billion. He's on the Forbes list as one of the richest people on the planet. He runs, I believe, the biggest hedge fund on earth, if not the second biggest, either the first or second. I think they go back and forth. But he runs a hedge fund called what's the name of his hedge fund called again? I'm blanking on the name of his company right now, which is kind of silly. Bridgewater, that's what it is. He used to run Bridgewater Associates. He's retired now. He writes books and puts out some really good YouTube videos. If you haven't heard of him, I strongly suggest that you research him a little bit. Really, really smart guy. Really good investment advice. I've actually followed some of his investment advice over the past decade and really had performed quite well because of some of the advice that he has. He's predicted a lot of things happening after COVID and all that kind of stuff. He made some very good predictions. But essentially, he has one of his funds, and he runs Bridgewater Associates, which has multiple hedge funds in it, right? One of his hedge funds is called the All Weather Fund, okay? And he explains how this thing works on one of Tony Robbins' books. So if Tony Robbins wrote a book recently, actually a couple years ago, on how to invest your money, right? Tony Robbins, great guy. What he did is he went around interviewing some of the smartest investors in the world and asked them for their advice on what to do. When he interviewed Ray Dalio, what Ray Dalio said is you should specifically be putting your money into this all-weather type portfolio. Right, so let me show you what that looks like. This is the all-weather portfolio. Okay, essentially, what it does is it diversifies your money across different asset classes to protect you from all the different possible scenarios. He calls it like the 4 seasons, right? You can have 4 different seasons in an economy. You can have either high growth, low growth, or high inflation, low inflation, and the combinations of those 4, right? So you can have a high growth, low inflation economy. You can have a high growth, high inflation economy. You can have a low growth, high inflation, which is like one of the worst things. And you can have a low growth and low inflation economy. So essentially, each one of those situations, you're going to have different assets that perform well, right? So if you're in a high inflation economy, then you're probably going to want to own some commodities. You're probably going to want to own some gold, and stocks may or may not end up doing well in that scenario as well. If you're in a high growth situation, stocks are probably your best bet. You might also see your commodities and gold doing quite well. If you're in a low growth and a low inflation economy, then you're probably going to do very well owning bonds, right? So this is specifically what he recommends. He recommends 30% of your money into stocks, 7.5% of your money into gold, 7.5% of your money into diversified set of commodities, 15% of your money into short-term treasuries or short-term bonds, and 40% of your money into long-term bonds. And according to him, and you know, the hundreds of billions of dollars that are invested in this, this ends up creating this very smooth performance. Where if you look at this over time, you compare it to the stock market. The stock market does a lot of this ups and downs, moves a lot. This creates a very, very stable performance, right? So, however, so that's definitely a good thing, right? We want to have stable. We want to have something that doesn't move too often. You know, the more stable we can get, the better, right? None of us like it when our portfolio's down. Who here likes it when, you know, your stock market or when your portfolio drops, you know, 20, 30, 40%? I know I definitely don't, right? So that's what it's meant to protect against. It's meant to protect against those drawdowns, meant to create this very stable return. However, the problem with investing in something like this is that you don't end up getting that high of a return, right? Because it's really focused on diversification, but you end up getting something that if you went long term, you kind of trail the market. It's more stable, less movements, but you do end up trailing the stock market. So what we ended up doing was we took a modified version of his portfolio, right? We changed the weight slightly, right, to be a little bit more favored towards stocks, and we used leveraged ETFs, right? So if you've never heard of these before, these are ETFs like the TQQQ, right? Here's a very interesting one. This is a triple leveraged NASDAQ ETF, okay? So if you compare this, for example, this thing is up today 3.6%, right? You compare that to the NASDAQ itself, just the QQQ. Sorry, that's the wrong one. I don't know. There's another company with QQQ. This is, there you go. That's the NASDAQ right there. You can see that the NASDAQ today was only up about 1.2%. So this thing outperformed the crap out of the NASDAQ today. But what's even more impressive is what happens over a longer time period. So here, when we go zooming way out, right, this TQQQ started existing around 2010. And so we're actually giving the stock market a much bigger advantage here because you're giving it a lot more time to even grow than that. We're giving it an extra 10 years. So we're even giving this advantage to the NASDAQ. You can see there's just a massive difference in terms of returns. Over this time period, we can see that the NASDAQ, the QQQ, did about 900% return versus this triple leveraged one did about 20,000% return. So quite a substantial difference, right? We're talking about here, this would be 10 times your money versus this about 200 times your money. It is one hell of a returning asset. However, the problem is that if you simply put your money into TQQQ, which you definitely could, and potentially you can make a lot of money. I actually own a bit of that in my discretionary trading. But the problem is that when you own it, you do have these really big drawdowns, right? In this case, for example, it was up 20,000% and then dropped within a year from 20,000 down to about 4,000. That's one hell of a drawdown. We're talking about 75 something percent loss over a year's period. So simply owning TQQQ on its own is probably not something that you want to be doing. Unless you're a risk-taking person, you want to diversify, that's fine. But what we've created here is a portfolio that essentially combines them, right? So we'll take this TQQQ and a bunch of other ones. We have a leveraged gold. There's a U Gold that leverages gold. There is we have a leveraged oil ETF that is kind of replicating the rest of commodities. We have leveraged ETFs for fixed income, and what we end up getting is this really happy medium where You're not putting your money into something like a TQQQ and taking this huge risk, but you are still getting a quite a substantial additional return, right? So it does provide, so it is a little bit riskier than the stock market itself, but the return is significantly higher, right? So again, here we see an average annual return when we back test this of about 29% a year, and a total return of about 4,000% over this 14-year period. And you can see that me running this with real money, I've been accomplishing pretty much exactly that since I've been running it, right? Up 50% in a year and a half. That's a heck of a lot better than what the stock market does, right? Okay, cool. So that's our diversified leverage portfolio. So I've showed you now our Congress trading bot, which follows Nancy Pelosi. I've showed you Congress trading bot. You can modify that to follow Mark Green, which is another Congress member. I've showed you our diversified leverage portfolio, which is one that I've been running for quite some time. It's one of our oldest bots that we've created. Now let me show you another one. Here's another bot. This is our Alpha Picks bot. Okay, this one is one of my favorites, and I'm actually planning to put in a heck of a lot more money into this. Right now, I think I have something like 10 or 15K in this. Let me show you. This is what it looks like. Okay. We have, I have an account. It's worth about 14,000 now. Okay. I've made quite a bit. I originally put in 11,000. It's all the way up to 14,000 already. In a very short time period. So September 27th is when I put the money in. So it's been 6 weeks, let's say, up already 21%. We've been running this in paper trading as well, and it's been up about 30% since August 20th. It's been running longer than my real money account. So we're seeing something like a 10% a month returns, which is pretty damn crazy. So what the heck is this bot? This bot is really damn interesting. What is this bot? Okay. So essentially what we're doing is we're relying on a service from a company called Seeking Alpha. If you've never heard of them, Seeking Alpha is these guys here. They are they used to be a lot more popular. These days they're not as much so, but essentially it's kind of like a blog, where like a Medium or something like that, where people post articles on different investment topics, right? So for example, Palantir, Long Way Down, they have all these different articles that people post. They have a lot of data from all these different things that people are posting. So what Seeking Alpha decided to do is they took all this data that they have tons and tons of data on all these different things, and they created their own portfolio called Alpha Picks. They provide 2 stock picks per month, right? And let me show you here, Alpha Picks. They provide 2 stock picks per month, and they have some pretty damn good stock picks. Oh, they actually changed their page here a little bit. So you can see here, this is from, they don't show the time period here. They changed their graph a little bit. This is from, okay, there you go. From July 1st, 2022 until today, their portfolio has done 189% versus S&P, which did 60%, right? S&P did well. They did a lot better, right? They did, was that more than triple the S&P 500 over this approximately 2-year time period, right? So that's fantastic. Let me show you how I've actually been subscribed to this for maybe a year or 2 years. I've subscribed to their stuff, and I've been kind of following along. Let me show you a few picks that I've actually made because of them. So I'm going to log into one of my portfolios here that I manage, and let me show you how well these picks actually do. So I'm going to go into one of my accounts. Is that Royal Bank? Okay, there we go. So here's one of my accounts. It's $1.1 million. This one that I'm managing here. Okay. And when we look through some of the holdings here, I can tell you a few of these that I bought specifically because of Alpha Picks. Right. So for example, here, one of the first ones I bought was this one called Modine Manufacturing. I had no idea what this company did. I still don't fully understand what it does, to be quite honest with you. I know they make like automated trucks and like stuff like that. I'm still not entirely sure what the company does, but I put in about $25,000 into this investment. You can see this is my cost basis, right? I put in almost $26,000 back in the day into this, maybe about a year or two ago, probably more like a year ago. And so far, that $26,000 has turned into $180,000. I've made $153,000 profit because of one recommendation that AlphaPix gave me. Okay. That is one heck of a return. That's a 600% return over like a one-ish year time period. That is really damn good. Let me show you a few other ones. Another one that they recommended. Let me see here. Powell. I still don't really understand what these guys do. I know there's some sort of manufacturing. I don't know. They said to pick it, right? I put in $15,000. That $15,000 is now worth $76,000. So in other words, I made a $61,000 profit, 407% return. I think I bought this maybe 12 months ago, something like that. Pretty recently, very, very nice returns. Another one, Sprouts Farmers. This one I bought more recently, maybe 2-3 months ago. Put in $23,000. It is now almost doubled to $46,000. Synchrony Financial, I put in $14,000. It's now up to $21,000. That's a 50% return. And I think I bought this only about a month or two ago, right? Really, really damn good picks. These guys have a knack for picking really good companies. Okay. So I've been following them for a bit. I've kind of just been trading, as you can see here, manually. But what I started to realize is that I actually missed a lot of picks, right? It's 2 picks a month, and then they remove things from their portfolio every once in a while. So it's kind of hard to keep up with it, right? So I'm like, you know what? Why don't we build a bot that automates this, right? Especially because one of the picks that they recommended was SMCI. I don't know if you guys have been watching that company, but it was one of the best performers in the entire stock market this year, right? NVIDIA, I believe, did an investment in them, something along those lines. They shot up by 1,000% in a year. Absolutely wild. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap, I wish I put money into this because they recommended this over a year ago. If I had put money in, I would have had 1,000% return. Forget the Modine manufacturing, 600%. I would have had 1,000% return off that thing. And also, they removed it before it actually had this big drop too. So they actually timed it very well. They bought it when it was at its bottom, made 1,000% return, and then they got rid of it before things really started to get bad. So really, really good timing, really, really good picks. So we create this bot that basically follows them, right? They have a list of stocks. I'm not going to show you because it's proprietary to them, but basically this bot is going to read that information and automatically buy in your portfolio the exact things that they recommend, including when they add new stuff, when they remove things. They are constantly cycling this, and we're basically following their advice automatically without you having to go through all that, okay? Now, we actually took it even a step further. Okay, so here's that portfolio. We've been running this. This is paper trading. I've been running this since August 20th, right? So what is that? August, September, October, November. Was that 4 months, 5 months, something like that? 4 or 5 months. It's up already 14%. That's nice. That's a pretty damn good return. I'm pretty sure that's quite a bit better than the stock market. I bet you the stock market probably did like 6-7% around that time period. So we're doing something like double the stock market, maybe more. But what's even more interesting is on AlphaPix, they also give you a rating. They will say hold, buy, or strong buy. Okay. So what we did was we're like, okay, well, we could also use that too, right? So here is basically a bot that follows all of the recommendations. Okay, this is all, right? This is buy, strong buy, and hold. Okay, but then we made one. Okay, what if it's just buy and strong buy? Okay, notice the all portfolio did 14% over this time period. The buy and strong buy, where we're only saying if it's a buy recommendation or better, did 25% over that time period, almost double, right? That's a pretty damn good return. 26% over 4 months. That is a really damn good return. Again, almost 10% a month. That's wild, right? But then it got even more interesting when we said, okay, well, why don't we only buy their strong buy recommendations? If you're only saying buy, forget it. If you're saying hold, forget it. Only if you say strong buy. And then it gets even more interesting. They have a 30% return since October 20th or August 20th because of that. So again, almost 10% return per month in this portfolio. We've been running this with paper trading. I put this into real money. I am very happy with these results. I'm actually planning to put in maybe another $100,000 or $200,000 into this portfolio specifically. Really damn good trading bot. that I am super interested in, and actually a lot of our clients are using this one right now, and seeing some pretty damn good returns. All right, cool. So that's another one of our bots. Cool. So that's our AlphaPix bot. As I said, we have tons of these things. We have something like 25 or 30 bots that you get when you subscribe to our Pro plan or All Access plan. I'm just showing you a couple here, right? So I've so far showed you our Congress trading bot. You can follow different Congress members. I've showed you our diversified leverage bot. This one's been performing quite well. It copies Ray Dalio and adds some leverage. We have our AlphaPix bot, which again only trades stocks. We've been doing that so far. We actually created a new one too that uses options to trade this, and we're still waiting to get the verdict. But you know, if this thing's doing this well with just stocks, imagine with options, right? So, anyways, that's our AlphaPix bot. Let me show you another one, and let me know if you guys have any questions around this. I'm checking here. There's actually we have a question here in YouTube. How do you join our Discord channel? So we have two different Discord channels. We have our server that's available to the public. And let me share that link with you here. I'll share this on both YouTube and in our Zoom chat or Zoom meeting. So there we go. That's a link to our Discord, right? That's our public Discord. But then we also have a private Discord, which is this one here, where you can actually follow our bots, right? And this is available to paying customers. If you're a starter plan, pro plan, or all access plan member, you'll get access to this. This is what we call our trading signals, and you can actually follow all of our bots. We're actually, by the way, going to be releasing a brand new website very shortly, hopefully within the next 2-3 weeks, where we're going to make this actually a lot easier to go through. So instead of on Discord, we're going to have this on a website. It's going to be a lot easier to navigate and all that. So keep an eye out for that. We're aggressively working on some new technologies. Cool. Okay. All right. So I've spoken to you about 3 different bots, right? We have our Congress following bot. We have our diversified leverage bot. We have our AlphaPix bot. Those all trade stocks. Okay. Let me show you some bots that trade options. Okay. These are very exciting. Here is one of the bots, right? This we call our EMA spreads bot. Essentially what this does, if you're familiar with options trading, what it does is it buys spreads, specifically call spreads and put spreads on the SPY or the S&P 500, right? So it's going to be looking at a few different things. It looks at essentially, is the market sloping upwards? It's looking at what's the value of the VIX, if the volatility index, if it's low enough, and a few other things that's going to spur this thing to actually make a purchase. Okay. So we back tested this bot, and got a very nice return here. So this is a back test since 2021 to 2024. So about a 3-4 year period. It did about 83% per year with a very reasonable drawdown given that time period. So very high returns, low drawdowns, right? And we've actually been running this thing for a while. So let me show you. I'll show you a live money account that I've been using this with. This is, let's reset it, but here's basically this bot running. I started this thing on September 18th. So what is that? 2 months ago, almost, not even 2 months ago. I made 47% on this bot. So I put in $4,000. This account is now worth $6,000, almost $5,800. 50% return in less than 2 months. That is one hell of a result. You can see here it is a little bit of volatility, so we'll give that. But holy crap, this thing made a ton of money in my account. I'm actually very happy about this. We recently took out some of this cash. We're paying down some stuff. We're going to be traveling to Texas soon, so very happy with our results. Okay, so that's our EMA spreads bot that trades option spreads on the S&P 500. We also create another version of this bot that essentially trades a diversified set of things. So you can actually see here, this bot, by the way, it's 83% a year, but you can see that includes here this really long flat period, right? It essentially decided not to trade in 2022. Perfect. That makes sense because the stock market was not trading up. The VIX was quite high. It just decided not to trade. It stayed away from that whole time period, which is exactly what we wanted to do. right? But if you were to take it, just if you went from just this time period when it wasn't trading, or like as soon as it started trading again, up until now, you could see this thing did a really, really high return. I think when we did this once, it was getting something like 250% a year. It was pretty wild what this thing was accomplishing. Cool. So yeah, so that's that bot. That's our SPY 2. We also made another version of this bot. This is a spreads bot that trades SPY, IWM, and GLD. If you're not familiar with those, SPY is the S&P 500. IWM is the Russell 2000, or in other words, smaller companies, so like mid-cap companies across the United States. And then GLD is gold, right? So it's trading these three instruments. So the goal is to basically diversify more, right? So instead of putting all your money into one thing, let's diversify against three different things. And for each one of these, it's doing its own checks, right? So for gold, there's actually a volatility index. I forget what the symbol is, GLD vol index. Let me see where that is. Implied vol charts. Where is this? GVZ. That's what it is. GVZ. So here is, and this is not a stock. This is not something that you want to buy. This is actually an indicator, right? So GVZ is something that's telling us the volatility of gold, right? So whenever volatility spikes, that's usually a time that we want to stay away from it, right? When volatility is down, when things are nice and calm, that's usually a time that we want to get into it. So we designed the bot to basically do that for GLD. We do the same thing for SPY. We do the same thing for IWM. They all have their own volatility indexes. We're making sure that the volatility is low. We're making sure that they're trending upwards. And we do a few other checks as well. And we're essentially, again, buying spreads on these things, either bull spreads, betting on the way up. Usually we bet on the way up. Sometimes also we bet on the way down. And this is the graph that we got here. So this is a very nice return here, 73% per year average return, or a total return of 806% over this time period. You could see very nice upward trending graph, not a lot of drawdowns. S&P 500 over this time period, I think, had like a 30-something% drawdown, I believe, over this time period. So less risky than the stock market and much higher returns. Sign me up, right? And I actually did. I've been running this with real money. That's why I reset it. Sorry. This is how it's been running. So basically, it's up since October 28th. It's up 14%. So what is that? October, November, December. So less than 2 months. So it's like 6 weeks. It's made me about 14% over 6 weeks, or made me about $500 on my initial $4,000 investment. All right. So really nice returns here on our EMA spreads bot. All right. Okay, cool. So I've shown you a couple bots. So I've shown you our Congress trading bot. I've shown you our diversified leverage bot. I've shown you our Alpha Picks bot. I've shown you our EMA spreads bot. Let me show you one more bot, and then we'll talk about how you guys can actually run this, right? How you guys can actually run these things. And if you are a subscriber, and I know a couple of you guys in here are, I do recognize a couple names. If you are a subscriber, then you can find all these bots in here. Let me show you. This is our strategy library where you can basically access all of our different bots. As I mentioned, we do have quite a few of them that you could use. We have 25 or 30 bots in here that you get access to when you're on our pro plan. This is that rolling EMA spreads bot. If you want to run that one, you click on this and basically go down here. You go deploy to render, and you can actually run this thing yourself. Right. We have our Alpha Picks bot. If you want to do that, you would again go here. And then click on deploy to render. We also need to give you an API key. So if that's something that you want to do, please reach out to me. We need to give you an API key for that specifically. And then I'm going to talk about this last one here, our options Condor Martingale bot. This is one of my favorites, actually. Okay, and let me tell you about this bot. So this is our options Condor Martingale trading bot. This is actually one of my favorites. Okay, and I'll tell you why. So not only, first of all, you can see here on the graph, I mean, it does so well that S&P 500. It's S&P 500 is that yellow line. It basically looks like it doesn't even do anything. This bot just outperforms by such a large amount. It's the blue line here. But what I also like about it is not only does it do very well, and we actually have quite a few different configurations of this, right? We've made, I think, 30 versions of this now. some of which are really, really interesting. And our newest ones are, I'm actually planning to put a more sizable amount of money into it. But this is basically what it looks like, right? Here's a version 12 of it. This is one that trades the SPY version 12. This one has, in our back testing, accomplished 77% annual returns, or about 1,300% over this entire time period, with a pretty mild drawdown. That's our SPY 12. But again, like I said, we've made a ton of different versions of this, right? So this is SPY 12. Here's a new one that we made, and this is what you actually got the email about today, is our SPY 26. This is a super interesting one that we actually just started running, okay? And you can see here that the result is pretty damn spectacular. We have a very stable graph because essentially it's using a martingale to make that graph a little stable. It does add a little bit more risk to it, so I gotta say that. But historically, when we back tested this thing from 2023, we got about 82% a year and only about a 9% drawdown. That is a one heck of a deviance there. 82% a year and only a 9% drawdown. Very, very stable, very much just up and to the right. So you might be asking, what the heck is this bot? What does this bot do? All right, so let me explain what it does. Essentially, we have here, it trades iron condors. Okay. So what is an iron condor? Okay. This is an iron condor right here. Okay. Essentially, if you guys are have ever traded options, okay, what you could do with options, you could trade puts or calls, and you can either buy puts or you can either buy or sell puts, or you can buy or sell calls, right? So you have two different instruments, and you could either buy or sell either one of them, right? So essentially, what an iron condor is it's you sell these two. This is specifically selling iron condors. So it's an income producing strategy. So it's something that's meant to produce a little bit of income every single day. It's not something that's meant to be, investing in stocks and whatever happens. No, this is a much more stable type of investment strategy, where it's meant to make a little bit of returns every single day, right? And the way that it does that is it sells a put and sells a call, and then it buys a put and buys a call a little further out. Okay, this is called a wing size here of iron condor on both sides, right? And then on the inside here is where we make money. So let's say, for example, and I know it's not at this right now, but let's say the S&P 500 was at $100 a share right now. SPY is at $100. Okay, as long as it stays that way, we will make a profit. Okay, you can see here in green, it stays as a profit. If the stock price moves down, then we start to lose money, right? And there's a capped loss. Okay, you only lose this certain amount of money here, right? And on the right-hand side, same thing happens. You only lose if you cross this threshold over here, right? So essentially, it makes money by default as long as the stock market doesn't move. Now, think about what I just said there, right? As long as the market doesn't move, which means you can make money when the stock market's going down, and you can make money when the stock market's going up. In both situations, as long as the market does not move by more than what we set up here and how we set up the actual condor itself. There's different configurations that you can play around with, depending on kind of what you want your risk to be and all that kind of stuff. You can actually set this up. We have all these different things that do it. As long as the stock market does not move, you're going to be profitable, right? So for example, we're watching this thing on a daily basis. You see this thing produce a little bit of income every single day. So let me show you, for example, here's our SPY4. I've been running this one for some time now. Very nice, stable returns, right? You can see here it had a bit of a dip, not too bad. Recovered from it very quickly. You can see here September 12th. I've been running this thing. So basically, what is that? September, October, November, December. So less than 4 months, I've made almost 13% on this bot here in particular. And we just created a bunch of new versions of it that I'm really excited about. These are some of our new ones, are 26. This one we just started a little bit ago. 27, we just started. And these are all meant to produce these very nice, stable upward returns. I know that they don't have a lot of track record yet, these newer versions, but this is actually the ones I'm most excited about, are SPY 26. This one that I'm showing you here, SPY 26. This is this basic graph, right? You see every day, just produces a little bit of returns, a little bit of returns. It's been running now for about a week, and so far only 0.5%, pretty modest beginnings, but so far heading in the right direction. Very nice, stable upward returns is what we're expecting with this one, right? So I'm very excited about that one. If you want to use that bot, you can go into our strategies, find options, Condor Martingale, scroll down to deploy to render, and basically click on that button, and you could actually follow everything that we're doing today, and I'll show you exactly how to do this. All right. Okay, cool. Awesome. So like I mentioned, we do have a lot more bots. This is just a couple of them. We're trading spreads. We're trading, copying different companies. We're doing all sorts of really interesting things. If you join one of our plans, you do get access to all of them. You do have quite a few bots to choose from. This is just a highlight of a few of them, because if I had to talk about all of them, we'd be here all day, right? Literally, this could take the entire day for us to go through all of them. So I'm going to stop now. Do you guys have any questions about any of the bots that I spoke about, or any other questions in general before we jump into the more technical part of how to actually run these things? I'll give you guys a few seconds to type out your questions, or if you're on Zoom, feel free to turn on your microphone. You can actually speak. That's why we do this stuff over Zoom as well. You could actually speak. Okay, so one question here. Sean asked, do you guys trade crypto? Yes, we do. So there is this one bot that we're working. We have a couple bots that trade crypto. We have ones that trade Bollinger Bands and a few other things like that. One of the bots that I'm most interested in for trading crypto is this one here. We're working on this new bot called the Solana Sniper Bot. What it does is, I don't know if you ever heard of a sniper bot, but basically it's looking at when new coins are created, right? So this is specifically on the Solana blockchain. And yes, exactly. Solana meme coins. That is exactly what this thing trades. It trades Solana meme coins. So we basically made this thing so you can look at, for example, pump.fun. Sounds like you know about this stuff. This thing is actually looking at new coins that are created on pump.fun. A lot of them are garbage, right? But a lot of them do have specific ways you can make money with them, right? For example, when these new coins come out, you can actually see a lot of them do this big jump at the beginning, right? Before a lot of them end up collapsing. So a lot of meme coins, they end up going to zero, right? This one, what it does is basically invest in it, make some money on the way up, and then tries to get out at the peak, or tries to get out when we do like a stop loss or take profit to actually capitalize on those big jumps that happen at the beginning of these coins' lives. So that's a bot that we're working on. It's not finished yet, but it is a bot that we do have in progress. That's one of my most one of the bots that I'm most interested in that trades crypto. Right. Yeah, and if you join us, we actually do every Tuesday. What we do is we create new bots every single Tuesday night. So last night, for example, we were working on a futures trading bot. If you join us on our Tuesday sessions, you can actually come in and say, oh, I'm interested in working on this bot. You get to have a vote. We do a vote, and whatever people vote on, that's what we actually end up building during that time period. We spend 4 or 5 hours working on these bots. There's a lot that we could do in 4 or 5 hours. There's a Stephen Colbert bot. That's interesting. There's Deep Colbert AI. Yeah, you see a lot of these. They have these big spikes at the very beginning. So yeah, the reason why we started building this bot, one of our subscribers, he basically said he's really big in the crypto community. He watches this stuff. He said some people were actually able to achieve like 1,000% a month or 1,000% a week trading these things, which is pretty wild. I mean, you don't really see returns like that outside of crypto, but kind of makes sense when you see that some of these things they get created. They go from some fraction of a penny to 1,000x return over the course of like 5 minutes, and then crash right back down. If you could take advantage of that, you could actually make quite a bit of money. So yeah, so that's one of our crypto trading bots. We do have a bunch of other ones that do Bollinger Bands and kind of the more basic stuff. We have whatever, but that's one of the ones I'm actually most excited about. I'm really excited about that bot. Cool, awesome. Any other questions, guys? It's a very good question, by the way, Sean. We have quite a bit of bots that we build before we jump into the actual running of the bots. Got my nice kava tea here. I don't know if you guys have ever tried kava. It's a very good tea. Very nice and calming. Cool. Okay. All right. So let's get started with actually running these things. Okay. So again, if you are a subscriber, you're going to get access to a lot more bots than if you're not a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, we do have an example bot that you can follow along with. But let's get this show on the road here. Okay. So as I mentioned, we're going to be using Alpaca as a broker today. And the reason why we use Alpaca as a broker is these guys right here, Alpaca Markets. It's not .com, it's .markets, which is typical new age software stuff to not use .com. .coms are expensive. So this is Alpaca. You're able on this platform to trade stocks, options, and crypto. Okay. The reason why we use them is because they're very easy to get up and running. They're very friendly with bots. They're called an API first broker, so they're very, very good at allowing you to trade. Not every broker allows you to trade using bots, by the way. I get asked this all the time. What about this broker? What about that one? Some brokers, they just don't allow this stuff, right? So whatever. But Alpaca is one that's made specifically for this, right? Specifically for API trading, for building things against them. And and one of the things that really stands out about them is they have free stock trading. So they're kind of like Robinhood in the sense that, Robinhood has free stock trading, but they're this API first broker. They're made for trading bots. They're made for people building against them, right? And these guys are going across the world quite quickly. I thought that they were only in the United States, but I keep seeing people in different countries saying that they have them available across Europe, Australia, and a bunch of other places. So so this is the broker that we're going to be using today. All right. So if you do not have an account with them, go to alpaca.markets. It's not alpaca.com. The website should look something like this, and then click on the sign up for free button. They make it quite simple to find that button. Click on it. When you do that, you're going to get this little form here. Fill in your first name, last name, what country you reside in, your email, and your password, right? The password they want to choose for them, right? And they hit sign up. When you do that, you're going to get an email from them that's going to ask you to confirm your email. So you're going to go in, you're going to confirm your email. And once you have done that, then you're going to be able to sign in, which let me show you what it looks like to sign in. Here's one of my demo accounts. I think this is the one they chose. Get this code 361201. There you go. Okay, cool. So once you have created an account with them, which should be very, very simple. Again, this is one of the reasons why I use them. It's very easy to get an account up and running. You should be able to get an account open, at least for paper trading, which is what we're going to be focused on today. You can get that account up and running in like a minute or two, right? If you want to open up a live money account with them, you can do that too. You could either pick an individual or a corporation account, an entity account. But we're not going to cover that today. That's, a whole bunch of legal stuff. You guys can do that if you want to on your own time. It's fairly straightforward, a little tedious, obviously, to fill out all that information, but they actually do make it quite simple. I'd say out of all the brokers that we work with and we send our clients to, Alpaca has the least amount of problems out of any broker I've ever encountered. People have problems with every other one. They have, Schwab has problems, Interactive Brokers has problems, Tradier. All these people always have some sort of issues. Brokers, there's always something going on. But Alpaca is very user-friendly, very easy to use, which is one of the reasons why we love them. Okay. So cool. We're going to skip over this. We're not going to go into creating an actual account. Instead, we could see here is that we already have a paper account. If you had a live account with them here, you could actually click on the drop down. You could switch between your accounts and choose your paper account or your live account. You could switch between them. But again, this account here is just a demo. So we're just going to click on home, top left-hand corner, and we're going to go in and see our trading portfolio here. Okay. So this is, again, a demo account. We don't own anything in here, which is great. This can make it easier. But you can see this thing, it starts you off at $100,000 fake money to begin with. I already made almost $8,000 on this of fake money using our example algorithm. So take that as you will. Yeah, so you can basically see that. And sorry, I got a question here. Can you get the recording after class? You absolutely can. Let me share with you how you can get that. Just go to our YouTube. So there's our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@LumiWealth. And you see here that this is actually live right now on YouTube. After it's finished being live, then you could actually just watch it, right? That's how YouTube works. When the live finishes, you can just go back and watch it from the very beginning. All right. Okay, cool. So check it out on YouTube. This is the one right there. You can actually see us live currently on YouTube. Okay, great. Perfect. So we're in Alpaca. We created an account. Another thing that we want to do when we're at Alpaca is we want to scroll down and we want to get these API keys. So you want to scroll down until you see this section called API keys. And inside you see here, I already have an API key. For you, if you're doing it the first time, you won't see anything here. You'll just see a button that says generate. For me, it says regenerate because I'm going to create a new one, right? So let me hit regenerate here, generate new keys, and you see that I have a key and a secret, okay? This is what we're going to be using to get our bots to trade. If you're not familiar with the concept of API keys, essentially what they are is they are kind of like a username and password that you can access these things from, right? So this is how you're able to actually place trades and connect to Alpaca, right? So you can actually, run things there. You don't want to give them your actual password and username. That's a security risk, right? But you're going to get your API key and secret, which is the same sort of thing. It's like a username and password, but it's meant to be for communicating between software, right? Okay, cool. So once you've done that, let me come back to slides here. We've created an account with them, right? You go to alpaca.markets, click sign up. You're going to fill in the form to confirm your email. You're going to log in. They're going to go to home, right? We're doing this with paper account for now. If you want to use real money, that's your prerogative, but that's not what we're covering today. It's actually, if you want to use real money, it's quite simple. Basically, it's the exact same thing as this, but instead of paper, it'll say live. You switch over to your live account, but it's the same thing. You're still just using their API keys, right? So it's just a different API key for live and a different one for paper, right? Okay, cool. So we created an account. We went and we got our API keys. We generated them, and we're good to go. All right, and that's basically all we need to do with Alpaca. Once we have done that, we can now leave this alone, leave this page open because we will be coming back to this and we will be using this key and secret in the future. So don't close that browser tab, keep that open. We will come back to this shortly. All right. Any questions around that before we continue? Okay, so Sean says, please explain. What would you like me to explain, Sean? If you want, feel free to turn on your microphone as well if it's easier for you than typing. Okay, keep going. Okay, cool. All right, okay, so you've created an account with Alpaca the broker, you've generated your API keys, and you're basically leaving that alone for now, all right? Okay, so next step, we're going to set up GitHub. If you do not have an account yet with GitHub, you can create an account. This is basically where all of our strategies lived. I already showed you this. Let me share this link with you guys here. I'm going to share this with you guys on YouTube, and I'm going to share this with you guys on Zoom as well. There we go. Cool. Okay. So you're going to go to this link here, and this is essentially where all of our strategies live. Again, if you're a subscriber, you will see all these different strategies here, right? If you're on a starter plan, you're going to get something like 4 or 5 different strategies. If you're on our pro plan, you're going to get all of them. And if you're on our all access plan, you'll also get all of the strategies. Okay. So, so that's if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, if you're not someone who's a paying member of Lumi Wealth, then you're only going to see this stock example algorithm here. Okay. So either way, that's the link I shared with that. If you guys want to just follow along, see how the example works, you can do that as well. Okay. So as I mentioned, we have one example algorithm for free. The starter plan gets 5 algorithms. And then if you're on the pro or all access plan, you're going to get all the algorithms, everything I talked about today, plus a lot more. You're going to get access to all those. Right. Okay, cool. And then when you run the algorithms, basically when you go into GitHub, you're going to, let's say I want to run the Condor Martingale, right? This is kind of a typical workflow. Okay. When I click on that, first of all, a lot of these algorithms, we're going to have our back tests inside of a folder. So you can click on that back test folder. You can kind of see, what does each configuration do? How is it all working? So you can click into here. Let's say SPY 26 is one that we spoke about today. You can click on that and you can see that's the back test that we ran. This is kind of the results that we got, that sort of thing, right? If you want to see, how does SPY 4 do, right? You can click on that. Here's the back testing results that we got. These are the annual return, all that kind of stuff, right? So you can see all the returns there in the back test, and these are important. We're going to come back to this. The names of them, we're going to use this in our live config, right? So SPY 10, whatever, does SPX4, all those different things, okay? And then when you figure out, which one do you want, you're going to go over to this getting started section, and there's this big button here that says deploy to render. Okay, you're going to be clicking on that, and that's how we're going to be actually running this bot. Okay, so let me switch back to our slides, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Just after I ask you guys any questions so far. Okay, cool. All right. So that's GitHub. And again, if you guys, I'm checking here on YouTube. I'm checking here on Zoom as well, right? If you guys have any questions. Okay, cool. So we have our GitHub set up. Okay, next thing. And this is where the bulk of the work happens, is we're going to be setting up Render. Now you might ask, what is Render? Let me show you. If you guys have ever heard of AWS, or if you've heard of Google Cloud, or if you've heard of Microsoft Azure, or maybe DigitalOcean, they're all basically different companies that do cloud web hosting. So what the heck does that mean? Basically, what it means that these guys are going to be running your code for you. You're not going to run this code on your computer, because if you run this code on your computer, let's say you run a bot on your computer, and we've actually had clients do this in the past. It didn't work out so well because you run this bot on your computer. What if the power goes out, right? What if your internet goes out, right? What about if you're on a laptop and you want to move that laptop around? This doesn't really make sense, okay? If you run the bot in a cloud, like for example on Render, you're going to be running this in this giant server farm, okay? Have you ever seen on those TV shows where people walk through these giant, huge warehouses where there's just rows upon rows upon rows of computers? Well, that's basically where your algorithm is going to live, okay? These things are massive facilities. I think what Render uses, they probably use the one in North Virginia, okay? They have this giant facility, and I'm talking about, this thing is huge, right? Like you can, basically you need a car to get around it. I mean, it's gigantic. Is that like a VPS is a question? Yeah, I mean, they run it in a virtual private, like VPS, a virtual private server. Kind of. I mean, you can have a virtual private server within one of these things, right? But this is really just a big server farm, right? So yeah, it kind of is. If you're asking that, it kind of like is a VPS in many ways, right? Okay, so you're gonna be running this bot in this giant server farm. And the reason why you want to do this is because A, they have backup generators. B, they have backup internet that's super fast. They have armed guards walking around this stuff. It's basically like a super lockdown facility. I'm willing to bet that if the United States ever got hit by like a set of nuclear bombs, one of the safest places to be is going to be in one of these spots. A lot of these are underground. A lot of these are reinforced steel. They have security guards in them, backup generators, all that kind of stuff. These things can survive nuclear wars in some situations. There's actually one that Microsoft has that's like deep under the ocean, right? So like literally, if there's a nuclear apocalypse, this is one of the few places that you'll be able to survive. So this is a very good place to run your bots, right? If you're running this with money, you're running this with real money, you want your stuff protected. You want to make sure that internet outages aren't going to cause a problem. You want to make sure that power outages aren't going to cause a problem. So it's actually quite important to run in a server like this, okay? You do have to pay for it. These specifically on Render, it costs $7 per month per bot. It's quite cheap compared to, you know, hopefully the kind of returns that you'll be getting, but there is a cost associated with it. We're actually working on creating our own version of this, where we're going to include that in the cost of the services. As of right now, you know, this is a separate service, but pretty soon you will have the ability to run this stuff directly through our website and actually get the stuff up and running. Okay, cool. So that's Render. You can go ahead there. If you go to render.com, you can create an account, but the process I'll take you through, you're gonna have to create an account anyways. So basically what we want to do is let's go to one of our bots. So again, let me share with you our strategy library. If you are a member, you will see all these different bots that I have here, all right? If you are not a member, you will simply see this stock example algorithm, okay? And I'm going to start using this because I just want to make sure that all of you guys can follow along, all right? So here's the stock example algo. All right, we go into there. You can actually take a look at the back test in there. This is an algorithm that works. It's not one that, you know, we think is particularly amazing, but it is something that works. It did make some money in this paper account. You know, basically all this does. Here's one. It just trades TQQQ and SPY and just rebalances between them. I don't even think maybe it doesn't even rebalance, but just buys those two things. Still got a pretty damn nice return. Crazy drawdown. So if you're going to use this with real money, be aware of that. Here's TQQQ and UPRO, right? 31% a year. Pretty crazy high drawdown, but also pretty damn high returns. So if you want to use this with real money, I mean, that's up to you. It's not one of our main bots that we use in our program, but it is something that is functional and can actually trade for you. All right. If you want to use this bot, click on that bot and then scroll down to the getting started section. And I see Lachelle here. No problem. You can switch your laptop. Sounds good. No problem. Okay, cool. So we're in this bot, stock example algo. If you want to run a different one, if you're one of our customers and you actually want to run one of your bots, a specific bot, just click into that specific bot. Same thing. Look for this button here, deploy to render. Okay. So we're going to click on that button. Okay. So when you click on that button, for me, it shows this, okay? For you, it's going to show something a little different if you do not have an account yet. So let me walk you through the slides because I don't have this because I have an account with them. It's all linked up. But this is what you might see if you are brand new to Render. So you're going to click on that, go to Render button, and then you'll probably see something like this show up, okay? It'll tell you to sign in, okay? If you have an account, obviously sign in. If you do not have an account, there's a button down here that says sign up. So click on that. They're going to send you a verification email. So again, you're going to go to your email address. You're going to verify your email. Then it's going to ask you to fill in some information about yourself. What should we call you? Basically, what is your name? You know, what are you going to use this for? It doesn't really matter what you fill in here. This is not important. You can fill it in with whatever. This is what I filled it in with if you care. And then when you continue, it's going to tell you to put in your payment information. And that's, again, because you do have to pay for this service. It is $7 a month to work with them. All right. Okay, once you've done that, you filled in the payment information. The next step is going to be linking your GitHub. Okay, so here you might see something like this. It might say, oh, we can't access this repository because it's on GitHub, it's private. Okay, that makes sense. So now what you need to do is you need to link your GitHub account. So you're going to click on Connect GitHub. And this is going to be essentially an OAuth flow, if you've ever heard of that. You're going to sign into GitHub. You're going to give it access to for Render to access the stuff in GitHub. So it's going to look like this: sign in, authorize Render. Then you're going to click on your name, right? In this case, it's Lumiel Strategies, right? And then you're going to click all repositories and then hit save. Okay. Once you have done that, then you're going to get to the same page that I am at, right? So a quick little recap. You want to sign up, create a new account with Render, fill in about yourself, put in your payment information, connect your GitHub, right? Authorize it to use your GitHub. And then you're going to end up at the same spot that I'm at right now. Okay. So here's where I am. Okay. Oh, and by the way, really quick little side note. Before you even click on that deploy to render button, we do have a deployment guide. Okay. So if you want to see basically what I'm going through right now, but you prefer reading stuff as opposed to watching it, then you can click on the deployment guide and you'll see here that it's kind of like this. You can scroll through here. It tells you, okay, how do you want to deploy with Render, and it takes you through all this stuff, shows you how to do it, right? Nice screenshots and all that. All right, cool. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go back here to deploy to Render. I'm going to click on that button again. Okay, so now we're at this page. Okay, you're deploying from a render.yaml to for this thing. Okay, so you only need to fill in a couple things here. You need to fill in your blueprint name. Doesn't really matter what you put in. I'll usually just take this. This is a stock example algo. I'll just copy that, put it in. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you're going to remember, whatever makes sense to you, fill in that blueprint name. And then everything else basically just stays the same. Okay. Estimated pricing, like I said, $7 a month. Branch on main, all that is good to go. All right. Okay. So we have all that filled in. Really just one field you fill in. Then we click deploy blueprint, bottom left-hand corner. And you'll see that this thing's starting to deploy. Now, the problem is that this thing's deploying now, but it doesn't know yet what it's deploying to, right? Like, what is it going to be connecting to? Is it going to be connecting to Alpaca? It doesn't know that stuff yet, okay? So to do that, we need to click on this background worker here. So this is stock example algo. A lot of people miss this, right? So please pay attention here. It's in the middle of the screen usually, and you'll see the name of it, and it's like this link that you can click on, okay? So click on that link right there in the middle, okay? When you do that, you now see a bunch of different things on the left-hand corner, one of which is environment, okay? That's basically what we need to fill in. So click on environment, and now you see here we have environment variables. These are what we need to fill in. This is the bulk of the work here, right? Everything else, you're just opening up accounts, right? This is the bulk of the work, right? Where you actually need to link this thing, okay? So once you're here, we want to hit edit to edit these environment variables. And then you see here, if I click on these are all ones that you need to fill in, okay? You see here, these are all blank. So we want to fill in all these blank spaces, right? So 1, 2, 3 blank spaces, okay? So let's do that, okay? So first thing we need to do is we need to fill in Alpaca API key, okay? That's the key. We need to fill in the value, okay? So let's go over to Alpaca and let's grab our API key. So remember, we did this in previous steps. Look under the API key section, get key. I usually double click on it to make it a little bit easier. Most people do this thing where they scroll across, but double clicking on it just kind of makes sure that you don't miss anything. And then you could right click copy, or you can go Control C for copy. And then we go back to render and we paste that into Alpaca API key. Okay. Next thing is Alpaca API secret. Okay, so we're going to go back to Alpaca, and now you see that they have secret, right? There's key and then there's secret. So again, double click on this, copy, and then we go back into render and we paste that in here. So now you see I have my API key and my API secret. Okay, so we have those two right there. Okay, now there's is paper. So let's say if you're trading with real money, you'd switch it from true, you switch it to false. Okay, I'm going to keep it as true because it is a paper trading account. But if you're to use real money, you switch it over to false. And then we have live config. Okay, and this enables you to pick a different configuration. You know, what do you want to be running, right? What specific version of this thing do you want to run? So that the way that you pick that is we'll go back into GitHub. Go here, for example, stock example algo. It's usually under back tests, right? So I showed you that before. You go into back tests here, where I told you to look at the names of these things. Let's say you want to run TQQQ U Pro, this version of it. You can click on this. You see here the back test. This is what it looked like when we back tested this thing. Now, what we want to do, if we want to choose this one, we want to copy this name here. Everything before the .pdf. Okay, so TQQQ underscore U Pro. We're going to take that, click copy, and then we're going to come back over to here and paste that under live config. All right, and then the other ones, market 24/7. We can leave that strategy name. We can leave that. Everything else is golden. All right. Once we have all that filled in, here's an example of mine. If you want to take a screenshot or something like that, this is what it looks like. Just fill in a couple things. That's it. Super simple. All right. We just want to hit save. And once we've saved it, now we want to rerun it, redeploy it. Okay. Because we've made these changes. Now we want to run it again, right? We want to update this bot with these changes. Okay. So the way that we do that is we go up here. There's this manual deploy button. Click on manual deploy, and then deploy latest commit. Okay, we're going to click on that. Boom. All right. Once we have done that, you'll see now that we're in this screen that says it's deploying, it's building, right? I'm just looking at this one here. It's going to show you a bunch of different things, what it's doing, right? Essentially, what we want to do is we want to see this thing finish up, and it's going to turn green and say live with a check mark. Okay, so it's going to take a few minutes. We're going to wait for this thing to go. While this thing's loading, I want to go back to this broker that we have, the Alpaca broker, and notice that we don't have any positions. Okay, we don't own anything yet, and we also don't have any outstanding orders, which I don't know where that went. Actually, it's right there. Okay, I'm going to refresh this. We see here positions. We have nothing in positions. We see for you, this will probably be blank, recent orders. For me, it says these were done 5 days ago, right? Date 7 days ago, 20 days ago. So all that stuff is in the past. Once this thing is finished, you'll see that it actually places 2 new orders. The stock market's closed right now, so it's not going to get filled. We're not going to actually have any orders go through until tomorrow morning. But we will see that the orders actually show up and they're ready to go, right? The way that I was doing that, by the way, for those of you that want to know, was in that environment variable market 24/7, right? We're able to tell this bot, pretend the market's 24/7, so you can place trades at any time of day. Okay, so now we've just played the waiting game. We have no positions, no orders, and this thing is still building right now. Okay. So while we wait for this thing to finish, do you guys have any questions around anything that we've covered? Or anything else for that matter? Let me...
You've shared your profits individually, and also described some are paper, some are real. Do you have a summary of everything you've done, say, in the last 2 quarters for real and paper money?
Yeah, so that's all in here in our Discord channel. You could actually go through. So here's some of our live bots they can go through, right? Here's our paper trading bots they can go through. These are normally available to subscribers because these are part of our trading signals. You could actually follow these bots and manually trade them if you want to. But if you would like to see this in detail, right, there's all these different things here. We can give you access, right? Or we can give you, so here's SPY 9, there's a bunch of these different things. If you want to get access to this or see it or talk to anyone about this, what I'd recommend is for you to book a call with, where is this? There you go. I'd recommend that you book a call where you go to lumiwealth.com under more, book a demo. Right, there it is. Let me share this with you here on Zoom. Okay. Just book a call anywhere on this calendar, and one of our staff can kind of take you through all that, right? We show you a bunch of other bots, how they've been doing, all the different paper trading ones. We can also give you access if you'd like to just actually go in and poke around yourself. That's no problem. But book a call so you can kind of go through that whole process, right?
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Cool. Awesome. Any other questions, guys, while we wait for this thing to finish loading?
I actually have another question.
Sure.
Is this your full-time gig or is this your side gig?
It definitely is my full-time gig. Been running this company for a little over 5 years now.
Awesome. How big is your company? In terms of employees.
In terms of employees, I think we have something around 10 people right now that are working on different things. We have a bunch of software engineers. We have a couple salespeople. We have a person that's running like our operations, our emails and stuff. So I think we're somewhere around 10 people now, I want to say.
Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you for offering these sessions.
Yeah.
I learn a lot every time. So I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to help. I'm glad that you're enjoying them.
Yeah, I purchased a course a long time ago. I'm still going through it. I'm not a member, I don't think. I just think I purchased a course that one time. But that may change in 2025. You never know.
That's awesome. Well, whenever you choose to join, we're always here to help. You can always join us during our Tuesday sessions as well. And you can watch us actually create these things. That's when it gets really fun and interesting, is when we're building all these new algorithms. And it's always exciting when we create a new one. You know, that's kind of the, or at least that's the thing that I find the most fun. You know. Cool. Very, very awesome. Any other questions? Okay, I was checking here. YouTube. All right, awesome. Okay, let's check if this thing is up and running yet. It looks like we're good to go. We see it live, right? This is basically what we want to see. Load the configuration, a bunch of different stuff here, but you see that it's live. We'll go back to Alpaca, and we see that in Alpaca, it actually placed these two trades here for UPRO and TQQQ 2 minutes ago. You can see that. They're accepted. They have not been filled yet because, of course, it is not yet, or the market is not open right now. Right. Okay, cool. So we're all good to go. Okay, so let me go through our slides here. So a few more things. So yes, we click on that background worker. We go to environment variables. We edit them. We fill them in. We save those environment variables, right? And then we want to deploy the latest commit. Right, and then again, it turns green, live, we're good to go. And we see that it's a success. It placed those two trades. All right. Okay, cool. Any other questions before we move on to our final thing here, the next steps? I can hear my my kid screaming downstairs. I got a 9-month-old downstairs in the kitchen. He loves it when we bounce around. So we're gonna go play with him a little bit after this. He's learning how to like throw stuff now. Anyways, cool. Okay, so next steps. So first of all, If you are a member of one of our plans, starter plan, pro plan, all access plan, you can go to our strategy library, and there's a bunch of other stuff to run in there. So let me share that link again with you guys here. All right. If you can't access our strategies, we also do need to give you permission. So if you are a subscriber and you're not seeing them, just reach out to one of us and we'll help you out with that. Well, we do have quite a bit of a support staff. So if you need some help, we can definitely do that for you. All right. Let's talk about some of our different plans here. You can, again, access all of these from lumiwealth.com. If you go in here, click see plans, you can see all of our different plans and our pricing, right? All the different features for each one of them. If you scroll through, we kind of show you, okay, this is what's in the starter plan, this is what's in the workshops. We go through all those details, but let me go through it with you right now. Our starter plan, you basically get access to this workshop. You get access to a bunch of additional algorithms that we've talked about. That's probably the biggest thing here. I'm going to make this a separate one. So we actually changed the starter plan to have more things in it recently. You're going to get 5 additional algorithms, right? The ones you get diversified leverage, you get our iron condor trading algorithm, and a few others. You're going to get access to our trading signals. So basically, you can go through all of our different strategies, see how each one of them are doing, all that kind of stuff. You're going to get access to our algorithmic trading full course. We have a whole course that teaches you how to build these things. We're actually going to be updating that course shortly as well. So if you subscribe to this, not only do you get the algo trading course, but you're also going to get the brand new version of it when it comes out soon. You also get our Python for Finance course. And you get our now this is a new addition to our starter plan, is you get to access our algo building sessions, which happen every Tuesday night. We just had one last night where we're constantly building new algorithms. This is one of my favorite things to do. Every week we have a ton of very smart people that come in and we come up with, how do we build better algorithms? How do we make something that makes a lot of money, right? So last night, for example, we were working on a futures trading bot, which had actually a pretty good result. I got to find... Let's see if I can find that. I think I might have closed that page. Yeah, I think I closed it. There we go. But yeah, really interesting sessions every Tuesday. We're constantly building new algorithms. Where do we get all these cool new things? Where do we get all these algorithms have these crazy results and whatever? It's from these sessions. Every Tuesday, we're constantly innovating, creating new things, right? And then also you're going to get access to our basic strategy library, which is essentially those algorithms that we talked about, right? So I'll sign up for it. Go to lumiwealth.com/starter-plan, right? Or basically it looks like this. Here's our starter plan. It's $1,998, so about $2,000 sign up fee. And then after that, it's $99 per month. Again, here's all of the different features that you get with it, right? I've already talked about those. I guess there's more here. It's community access as well. So you get a bunch of stuff. If you want to buy this program, you can come down here, click on Learn More, and essentially be able to purchase it. So let me click on that. There's that link, starter plan, right? You go through here. And you click on Buy Now or Add to Cart. Any one of those. Let's say, for example, here, we click on Add to Cart, right? You'll see essentially what happens. It gets added to the cart here, and you make that purchase, right? Okay, so that is our starter plan. Up next is our pro plan. It's definitely our most popular plan. If you guys are wondering what do people usually buy, this is the one that people usually buy, is our pro plan. Okay, and the reason why people buy our pro plan is because you get the full strategy library. Every single strategy that I talked about today, you get it, plus anything that we make in the future, you're going to get access to that, plus all the stuff that we've done in the past. The Solana Sniper bot, this new futures bot that we're working on, the Alpha Pick spot, which is getting some pretty crazy results, the Iron Condor trading bot, all those algorithms you're going to get with the pro plan, okay? Along with all these educational materials and all that other stuff that you get from the starter plan, right? So if you want to purchase this one, you can go to lumiwealth.com/pro plan, and I'll share that link. Or of course, you could just go to our homepage, scroll down to the list, and then click learn more. All right. The Pro plan is $39.98 as a sign-up fee, a one-time sign-up fee, and then it is $199 per month thereafterwards. Right? You get access to everything from the starter plan, plus these additional features. You get the live algo building session recordings. You get all the code from those sessions that we do every Tuesday, and you get over 50 algorithms. You have a bunch of them in our GitHub. That makes them really easy to launch. And then we even have even more in our Google Drive. We've been doing this stuff for 5 years now. We have a lot of algorithms that you could choose from. If you're a developer, you can take that stuff and build some new things. Or if you just want to run them, use them to make some money, you can do that as well. All right. So again, Pro plan, you'll click down here, learn more, and you can access that. All right. Okay. And last of all, we have our all access plan. And this is if you want to essentially get everything that we have, right? So first of all, you're going to get everything from the starter and the Pro plan, all of our algorithms. You're going to get our community access. You're going to get our trading signals access. You're going to get all that stuff. And then also you're going to get access to all of our courses. We've done quite a few different courses over the years. You get our algorithmic trading course. You get our options trading course. You get our AI for trading course. That was a really cool one we did. You get our crypto trading course. You get our blockchain development course. You also get, and this is important, in all access, you get one-on-one support. So meaning if you want to develop an algorithm, and a lot of people come to us and say, I have this strategy in mind. I want to build this thing, right? I want to trade some sort of options. I have this specific thing I want to do. We can build that for you, right? So you're actually going to get, with all access plan, time with me over the phone, right? And we're actually going to sit down on regular intervals every month, right? And we'll be able to build these things out for you, right? So in the past, we've had bots that basically copy Discord channels. There's people that have been on Discord channels. We create bots that copy that. Bots that copy Telegram channels. You can get, basically anything you can think of. Like we have really good technology here. We use Python to develop our algorithms, which is, someone asked me last night, why don't we just use TradingView? Because TradingView really can't do that much, right? They have very simple stuff. Basically anything that you can think of, we can build for you, right? Options, futures, crypto, you name it, we'll be able to build that for you, okay? That's what the all access plan gets you. So if you want to develop a custom bot, you want some help with that, we're going to give you a number of hours every month to be actually develop this thing out and build that for you, all right? So here we have one-on-one support, we have the private coaching sessions, and we can build those bots for you, okay? This all access plan, it comes with literally everything that we have. It's $99.98, so about $10,000 as a sign-up fee, and then $400 a month there afterwards. But now you're going to get access to everything, right? You're going to get access to all of the courses. You're going to get access to all of the algorithms we have. You're going to have myself getting on the phone with you and actually building these things out for you. If you have anything specific in mind, we can get a bunch of our development team to also add features to our LumiBot or to whatever else for you. This is going to give you, basically the white glove service. We can do pretty much whatever the heck you want in terms of algorithms with the all access plan. All right. Okay, cool. All right. And then if you want to sign up for it, you click here, lumiwealth.com/all access plan, or on our website, you can go down here, all access plan, and click learn more. All right. Cool. Awesome. So that's all of our plans. Now we do also have a, sorry, this is Black Friday. I was updating this. This is our coupon code that I promised you guys. Yeah. Our Black Friday deal just ended, but this is a deal almost as good as our Black Friday deal, actually. It's 25% our sign-up fee for any of our plans. So meaning if you're doing this on the all access plan, you're going to save $2,500, right? That's a very nice savings, right? If you're doing this on our Pro plan, you're going to save $1,000, right? Really nice savings. We've only made this coupon code available until midnight, okay? I've made sure our team turns this thing off at midnight, so you have 6 hours to use this thing if you want to. This is Eastern time, right? So it's almost 6 p.m. right now, Eastern time, so you have 6 hours to use this coupon code. if you want to save yourself 25% off any of our plans. Okay, here's the coupon code that you use at checkout. So let me show you how to do this. I'm going to copy this coupon code, and I'm going to share this with you guys here. And I'll share this also on our YouTube and our other channels. Right, there we go. And basically, you're going to go, let's say you want to buy our all access plan, right? Let's click on learn more. And then you're going to add to cart. Okay, and then here I'm going to get rid of these other ones because we don't want to buy all three at once. That'd be a little silly. So we'll have here the all access plan. You see this is the total. Type in your coupon code, apply coupon, and you see here that we get a very nice savings of $2,500 when you check out with this, right? And then the rest is proceed to checkout, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the spiel. But essentially, there we go. If you want to save yourself 25% off any of our plans, that is available until midnight using this coupon code. All right. Cool. Awesome. Any questions around anything that we covered today or anything else? And we'll leave the questions going, but also leave the coupon code up for you in case you guys want to copy it. Any questions around anything that we covered today, any of our algorithms, anything about launching our algorithms, or anything else? You guys have been great, by the way. Lots of good questions. We had lots of people here, even on YouTube, asking questions. So this has been great. It's been a very fun session.
So you're saying to get the recording of this, you have to become a member of this session tonight?
No. This is something that we actually provide now. We used to do that, but we decided, you know what, let's give this for free. So if you want to do that, go to our YouTube channel. While you're there, subscribe and do all that, because we give out a lot of free stuff on our YouTube channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and all that. But the recording's right here, right? So we go live on YouTube. As soon as I end this live session, this will be available and you'll be able to rewatch it.
Awesome. Okay, thanks.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Cool. You can also see the sessions that we've done in the past too. There's, we do lots and lots of stuff here. So check out our YouTube channel. There's lots of stuff on our YouTube channel. So I think you'll have plenty of content to go through. Cool. Any other questions? Okay, great. All right, well, it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much for attending. It's been great having you all here. Once again, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great rest of the week. And if I don't see any of you, I know a couple of you guys will probably see on our Tuesday sessions. But if I don't see any of you guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. I don't know what I'm missing. But I hope you guys have a great holiday season. Happy New Year's. And if you do end up joining, and if you're a brand new subscriber, I'll see you guys on next Tuesday. And you can help us work on probably one of our crypto algorithms, that new crypto sniper bot, or our futures trading bot. I'm excited about both of them. They both have some pretty crazy returns that we're starting to see right now. So I'm very excited about building those. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night. It's been a pleasure.